Fairhope, Alabama today is going to be 98. The humidity will be 96.
Down in Alabama, it's going to be that hot?
Yeah.
What town are you from?
I'm from Fairhope, between
Fairhope?
Mobile and Pensacola.
Okay.
On the bay. Yeah.
Well, that's not so bad in the wintertime,
Oh no, oh, it's great.
right? This is the place to be.
Yeah. I wouldn't be here in the wintertime. I wouldn't be here in this wintertime.
This is cold.
This is cold. This is cold.
All right, well, we're heading out, right?
Okay, climb aboard the last one, shove off. That's Andy taking out a whole load of people to see the puffins.
The puffins?
Yeah, he takes them way out to the island. He advertises on the internet. He gets a load like 3 or 4 days a week. He takes them out.
People are crazy about puffins.
Oh yeah, they go out to see the puffins, and he gives them a good tour.
Are you part of the American Lighthouse Foundation?
Well, I'll tell you the whole story.
All right.
I've been retired, and for the last 10 years, I've been rebuilding lighthouses. I just like lighthouses. And I saw on the Discovery Channel, they were talking about a lighthouse up in Prince Edward Island. And so I went up to Prince Edward Island and I told the woman in charge, I said, I'll come up and spend 3 months and tell me what you want. I said, I'm a plumber, electrician, a carpenter, a welder, and an engineer. And tell me what you want done. She says, you mean you come up for free? I said, yeah, no charge. So I rebuilt one lighthouse, turned it into a gift shop, and I worked on another one in West End and part of a hotel. Then I have a daughter who lives in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. And one day she sends me a clipping, and it was all about Little River Lighthouse and needed some help. She says, Dad, you've been working for the Canadians, why don't you work for the Americans? So I contacted Tim Harrison, who's head of the lighthouse, and I said, I'll give you 3 months of my time. He says, for free? I said, yeah, for free. So he was tickled to death. So I bring all my own tools. I have a motorhome. And this is my 3rd year here. When I started with this lighthouse, it was an absolute disaster. And I'll show you a lot of this stuff inside. And then I came back last year and worked 3 months. I brought a new wife with me. Because I'm 78, she's 78, but
You did great.
yeah, I'm in pretty good shape. And then this is my 3rd year, and we hope to get it finished by this year. And then next year, if we can find a couple to run it, or we'll get somebody to run it, it'll be open like from June to September as a hostel. People bring their own linens. It belongs to the American Lighthouse Foundation. We bought it, yeah, we own it. I work with Tim Harrison, and Tim will be up this week. In fact, I think Tim is speaking at 20 Light this Saturday. He's a guest speaker for something up there. In his organization, we've got about 20 lighthouses under his control. Either they have been fixed and are rented out or in process of it. The state didn't want it, the Coast Guard didn't want it, the city didn't want it, so Tim takes them over as far. And yeah, he owns it. We own the whole island, and it's a heritage. It's been dedicated, you know. So we have to work real closely with them because everything has to be done just right if it's a heritage.
How can you give your services for free like this? Are you just did you just make some smart moves when you were younger?
Yeah, I'm a retired consulting engineer. I've lived and worked in 17 countries around the world. And I just decided for the last 10 years, the world's been good to me, so I'm just giving it back. This is my gift to Cutler. And so I just come up here. I'm a workaholic. I just love it, you know, and I just like to see these lighthouses saved. Everything on this island comes out in this boat. We have to go in 4x8 sheets of paneling, sinks, toilets, wallboard, whatever, you know. We just make trips back and forth. Yeah, this dock, we're in the process of rebuilding it.
Do you ever go out there and look at those puffins?
Nope, I'm going out next week, one day with Andy. My wife she had to go back for some surgery, but she'll be back on Wednesday, and then her and I are going to take a day off and go out there with Andy.
Well, that's kind of nice, having a new wife, and
oh yeah,
you know, I mean, you're out here fixing up lighthouses. Sure. It must be a very exciting time for you.
Yeah, I taught her how to scrape paint.
So now the Coast Guard, when did they leave this place?
1973. So the building was empty for 35 years. And with no heat and plaster, everything, you know, just deteriorated badly. The original innkeeper's house, you know, was built in 1848.
Yeah.
And about 40 years later, it deteriorated, and they tore it down and they put up a new wooden structure. This oil house was built from a lot of the stone that was left out of the innkeeper's house. Now this is where they had three 2,000-gallon oil tanks, fuel oil, which would gravity feed down to the lighthouse. But in 1970, there was a young Coast Guard kid out here who wasn't familiar with what happened. And they would bring a hose. Navy, Coast Guard would come in with the boat. They'd drag a hose all the way up here and fill these tanks. He left a valve open in the cellar. They spilled 3,000 gallons of oil in the cellar of the house.
Oh.
It was a dirt floor, so you know it's seeped out. But right next to it is a well. Luckily, the well's 132 feet deep, and by next week we hope to have the well going in and have the water tested. And we hope it's going to be all right. But if not, we have a water problem.